Looking back at these days, I realize how much I miss the beautiful bird song. The sun is such a magnificent amplifier of beauty, warming and gently bringing back all the dormant parts of our being, until we awaken yet again to all the wonder that exists around us in our field. One of my favorite self-care practices is to feel the light on my skin, to breathe in the gentle force of it, and to allow the light to flood my eyes. The yogis believe that a tight hair bun allows information to enter the head or the crown chakra, and this is a great hairstyle for times where extra energy is needed or when work will be done. I often find myself loosening my hair though and sinking deeper into softness as I prepare myself for gentle expressions such as painting and dancing. Hello, beautiful, beautiful friends. I've actually been wanting to film this part of the video. I've actually been wanting to film this part of the video for a long time now, but as fate would have it, we had the flu, and so we are still getting over the worst of it. We're definitely much better by now. We were also supposed to record the podcast this week, but there was just no energy for it. So thank you for being here with me now. I want to talk more about the mandala, which it's like my one little painting that I've been doing for so long, but it's all right. It's the once again, if you listen to the last podcast with the shamanic drums, it's really my continued tasting and learnings is patience. But I wanted to share more about it. Many moons ago, I started experimenting with doing mandala work, and I got lost in it. Like it sucked me in the most beautiful way. It was the deepest meditation process. It was so fulfilling. It was so fun. A lot of time would go by without me even realizing what I'm doing. And I think that's when you're at your happiest and when you're really in the zone and in the Zen mode, and you're really opening up yourself to spirit and to inspiration to flow through you and work through you. And then a few months ago, another YouTuber that I really love, Jubi, he had a workshop. She has a beautiful collective, which you should definitely go and check out for yourself. If you subscribe to her newsletter, you can get more information about the Chestnut Collective. But she had a workshop with Mandala Joy, and so I joined. It was so beautiful and intimate, and it was really nice to connect with her, but also to reconnect with the art of mandala. And during that workshop, she also spoke a lot about the rebirth, birth, death symbolism behind the mandala. And I think that that is so powerful, and that is why we as a collective are so drawn to mandalas, whether it's mandalas in nature, in the center of flowers, or the Fabiano patternings. But I really think that the deeper understanding at a soul level about life and about the soul's journey, and how we are constantly going through this metamorphosis and constantly going through our birth, death cycles in all forms of our evolution and of our soul maturity path. I think that's why it resonates so deeply with us, and that's also why it becomes such a powerful meditation. And I can understand why so many different philosophies incorporate the mandala. So as she was working through the workshop, she also showed various different methods of the mandala, or different inspirations for the mandala, some that are very organic. Somebody's building somewhere. Some that are very organic in their shapes and in their forms and in their colors. And then the one that struck me the most, very interestingly, I'm not sure why, was the Tibetan mandalas, where they are very much more geometric. They more focused on using very perpendicular lines and very straight lines. And that really pulled me in, never thinking that that would be what would flow through me. And so when we started doing our own mandalas, that's just what kept coming through. And at the end, when I looked at it, I still think that it looks very much like a spaceship, which is very special to me, to think that some influence from galactic family could come through. But when I look at it, it reminds me so much of the way that a diamond gets cut. And when I started thinking about the color palette, I was very much drawn to inspiration that I used in my previous website with Past Life Regression. I was very pulled and drawn into the watery colors as well as the pinks and the purples, because the water would symbolize the subconscious work. And then earlier this year we got an oracle card deck, and I thought, wow, the colors really come through in the oracle card deck as well. So it's this one. It is Work Your Light Oracle Card Deck by Rebecca Campbell. I love these cards so much. The illustrations and the designs on here is just stunning, and they also remind me a lot of diamonds. When I thought about the color palette, there were oracle cards that I had drawn for myself in a reading, and those same colors were very much present there. These are not the exact same cards, but you can look, there's a very much of a purple and a blue palette coming through with the pink undertones, and so I decided that that would be what I wanted to use for my diamond mandala, as well as it was the cards that I was working with at the time. I just closed my Past Life Regression website, which doesn't mean that it won't be up again in the future. So if you are interested in a reading, you can please reach out to me personally. We can always set up an appointment for you. It's just that I need to generate the financial income to be able to sustain and uphold that website. Yeah, I think that's how the birth of the mandala started, was with GB and working with the colors of the subconscious, and then viewing it and seeing all these very geometrically shaped and patterned lines, and then feeling so drawn to the diamond. So while we are busy talking about the oracle cards as well, and maybe just take a moment and I'll draw a card for the collective that's here with me now. Thank you so much for your love and for being present and for sharing your energy, and also for receiving my energy. So if you feel called to do so, just taking a deep breath, enjoying the stillness and the calm that is around you and with you right now. The scents or the smells, the sensations. Just feel where your body is at. Is it very hot? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it comfortable? Just giving a moment of acknowledgement for whatever is moving through you. And asking for a card for the collective that is gathered here right now. So the card that came through is Get Grounded. And it says, empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. I think it's so beautiful. It's got my favorite flowers, some rose. Well, one of my favorite flowers. I think all flowers are my favorite, but there's some peonies and some roses there. And beautiful jungle, ancient trees in the background. Get grounded for the highly sensitives. Yesterday we went to a very special sacred place here close to home, and it was actually the overhang that myself and Denzel celebrated our love union in. This beautiful cave that is just like a womb welcoming you, and it was just so needed to be grounded, to be fully grounded, to feel our feet on the earth and on the sand, and to rest our heads against the rocky caverns, and to feel the serenity there, and to realize that that is us. We are the serenity, we are the peace, if we allow ourselves to connect with the Divine Mother, the beautiful Mama Earth. So be sure to ground yourself as well in nature. I know that the weather can sometimes impact it a lot, and I also know that there are so many other ways that we are grounding these days with grounding mats and so on, but really getting into nature and feeling the stability of something like a cave, feeling the ancientness, the wisdom, contemplating how much Earth has seen and witnessed, and how much she has always held space for all the living beings that have walked upon her and lived with her and through her through the ages. So my beautiful friends, just sending you so much love, especially through all these frequencies that we are going through, the influx of the beautiful light rays from the sun, the powerful Schumann resonance that is making itself known so much. Yesterday I was telling a friend how, well, now when I sleep at night, I can hear it. I first thought somebody was having a big party the first night that I hear it, but it was this very low drone, this very underlying bass tone, and we go woo, 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 woo. And it's been 5 nights in a row now that I've been hearing it, and maybe you have been too. And if you haven't, I'm sure that your physical being has felt it, and if you haven't, then I'm sure that your spiritual body has felt it. So know that I send you my love and I share my joy with you as we traverse through these very exciting times, and sending you peace and love and joy to be with you always. I've really been infusing my painting with the energy and the movement of dance, and I feel that it creates such a beautiful flow to connect with the divine feminine and the creative energy, and that it helps prepare me to enter a state of freedom and joy that I hope you too will feel emanating from the artworks themselves. So I have officially painted the last little pieces of my Diamond Mandala, and so now it's just going back and fixing up all the little touch-ups and adding in the outline. When I started contemplating doing the touch-ups, I thought, it's so interesting because when you look very closely to the painting itself, there are so many flaws and there are so many little pieces that are imperfect. But when you stand back and you look at it, it seems quite complete, and the overall picture is what gives it its complexity and its beauty and its depth. But it's so reminiscent for me of soul searching, soul healing, soul beauty, and soul troubles. Like even if you're going through a dark night of the soul, or if you have internal struggles and fights that you are fighting, or healings that you are healing, trauma that you are healing, on the outside the bigger picture is beautiful, and it's when all those little pieces and all those hurts create this beautiful dynamic picture. But at the same time, it also has another layer to it to really fully heal and to really become this joyful picture. You need to go look very, very closely to how deep and where exactly those hurts lie and where they stem from. And the same goes from beauty. Like you might look at the outer picture and the bigger picture at large, but the beauty is made up of so many smaller pieces. And even if there are little imperfections, it's okay. Your imperfections are okay because you are a whole. So it's just like the mandala, and there's so many layers and there's so many cycles of birth and rebirth and death. It's the same with all the layered meanings. There's so many more layers of meaning that you can interpret. So I just find it so fascinating, but I'm delighted that she's finished, or she's almost complete. Now the fine detail work starts. She almost looks like a spaceship.